we loved all the things that we saw on social media, YouTube, a wonderful, wonderful relationship. But I want to take you all the way back to when you first met him and when he first strolled on into those mats at AKA. What are your first memories?
Just a kid that barely spoke any English, could say hi and bye. And see, we've been to Russia a lot of times, so we had a few words. You know, we had davai and something like hello, thank you. We had a lot of those words back then, and it was our way of kind of communicating with him. And then we all adopted that broken English type of style right as he started to learn. But my first memories of Khabib is him being a kid that wanted to learn and just a sponge, right? Couldn't speak very much, so he stood in the corner. And he always watched and observed. And as he gained more confidence in his abilities and also his ability to communicate, it just kept growing and growing and growing. I remember the first time he did a interview in English, it was at UFC Tonight, and he was sitting there in the green room telling me how nervous he was because he had never done an English interview. And I said, we talk every day in the gym, you'll be fine. And he did. And since then, he hasn't stopped talking.
That gym was obviously famous for the Three Kings.
Yes.
Is the Four Kings now?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, from the moment, you know, we called ourselves Three Kings because over the course of that year, back in 2014, 15, we all held the belt, you know, and that's something that's almost unheard of in fighting. And then Khabib was on his way up, and he was always kind of the little brother, right? Like the one that was going to take what we had done to the next level. And you see that, right? You see him exceed all the, break through the glass ceiling. Everything that we had done and set, he has shattered him completely and taken this thing to a level that nobody was ever able to reach. But when you think of gyms and you think of AKA, you think about the guys from before, like it's the way it goes. Like Josh Koscheck and Mike Swick and John Fitch, those guys were all fighting together. And we thought, wow, this is good, right? We've got 3 top 10 welterweights. We've had 2 guys fight for a belt. How does it get better? Well, here comes that second wave. Kane, myself, and Luke, and we shattered that. And now look at what Khabib has done following us. But he won't be the last. There will be someone else that will do it at a level that's even bigger, and that's exactly what we always hope for out of our gym.
His fan base is obviously huge because of what he does inside that octagon, but you know him away from the octagon. The year that he's had has been horrific from a personal point of view. Talk to me about the mentality of this guy, because he would be forgiven to not be here this weekend and to not be fighting given the passing of his father.
Yeah, when that happened, it's like the only thing. I remember when his dad got sick and we talked a little bit, and I was so worried as to what could possibly happen because you know how big a part of his life his father was. But then when we realized that it was COVID and it was bad, as you communicated with him, you try to say if you need anything. And honestly, Khabib's not a person that reaches out much to say, I need your help with anything. He's a strong man. That's another one of the lessons his dad taught him. And he wanted to fend for himself. And I remember when his dad passed, I constantly was reaching out and not getting any responses, which I probably didn't expect to, but I just wanted to be a friend and let him know that I was there. And eventually he reached out and we talked about family. We talked about how they're gonna move forward and everything. And it just showed his strength because his dad was the pillar of not only their house, but that entire region in mixed martial arts. He was so much bigger than just the head of the Nurmagomedov household. And it's been taxing. But when he decided he was going to do this, I envisioned a way for him to be even more dominant, which is scary, right? Because for what he's done has been tremendous. But I said, wow, now that he has something more to fight for, who are we going to see in the octagon on Saturday?
Using that pain as energy going forward.
Yeah, you got to think, man, there are goals that you set out in life, right? And Khabib wanted to be a UFC champion. I remember him telling me back in the day, he goes, DC, one day I'm going to be 10-0 in the UFC champion, and make $10 million a fight. And me and the rest of the guys go, there's no way, nobody makes $10 million a fight. I'm pretty sure he's making that a fight now. But he became a global superstar.
Yeah.
And not only did he set those goals in those areas that he wanted to get, he did it alongside his father. And one of the things that they wanted to accomplish, the achievements, was to get to 30-0, right? To be 30-0 was one of the things that they came up with together. And now that he's fighting for that too, it's a scary proposition for the opposition.